Hi everyone and welcome back to another video with me, the Off the Pace Gamer, a very unsheared Off the Pace Gamer, so apologies for that. I'm blaming current restrictions for it, but the truth is I just couldn't be bothered to do anything about it, so went with the hairy look. First of all, massive thank you to everyone who has supported the channel so far, especially if you've liked the videos and given them a thumbs up, and double especially if you've subscribed to the channel. Really does mean a lot. And also I'd like to apologise for the fact there's been a massive gap since I actually loaded any content up. Just been busy with work and other things get in the way. You know what it's like. Won't bore you with the details, but the point is I'm back. Now I wanted to do this video sort of for three reasons really. The first reason is just to give you a bit of an introduction. This is me. Just so you know what you're working with, and I know it's probably going to put some people off. I mean, it put me off, but yeah, so that's part of the reason. The second part is that it's kind of a bit of a launch video. So I've decided to do a little mini series based on the Nürburgring, and now I know the Nürburgring has become a bit of a cliche almost in sim racing circles. It's been done to death. However, I'm hoping what I'm doing is a little bit different. So most people who take to the Nürburgring on sim racing, they go in supercars and hypercars, 100,000 to 200, 300,000 pounds, racing cars, things like that. And I thought it would be quite a good laugh to do a series just everyday cars, as everyday as you can get on Gran Turismo. That perhaps one day I might be able to go out and buy. So that's the idea. So the series is called Green Hell Hot Laps. Green Hell obviously being I'm sure a loving nickname for the Nürburgring. And I've released the first two videos of that series today. So we've got a Golf GTI Mark 1 and an Audi TTS. Both of them went really well actually. I was really pleased with them, and the Golf actually really surprised me, coming in under 10 minutes, which for a car of that age I think, you know, shows just how good it was. So yeah, please check those out, and like I say, give us a like, give us a subscribe, that would be fantastic. And the third reason for this video is that I thought I'd give you guys a bit of a game room tour. Now I'll admit it's not going to be a very long tour, but I thought perhaps, seeing as it's just a small space, I could perhaps give you a bit of background on, you know, the consoles that I've got in here, and yeah, just talk you through it all really. So for the first 2.5 years of being in this house, I just had just a normal TV unit. The TV took up most of the unit, as you can imagine, and then I think I had 6 or 7 or maybe even 8 consoles at one point just dotted around this TV. And you know, I had a PS4 Pro and an Xbox One X sort of balanced precariously on the ends, just on the outside of the telly, and it just wasn't working. So sort of during lockdown and even when I went back to work, the first lockdown that is, even when I went back to work, you couldn't really do anything, go anywhere at the time. So I thought I'd invest some money and some time in doing a proper games room. One idea I had was to have a dedicated room in the garage, or even maybe put an extension on the house. And certainly one of those two things I would like to do at some point in the future. But I think it's just, you know, it's a long way off. It's a lot of money and it's a lot of uplift. So sort of curbed that idea. So instead, I took the spare room and I IKEA'd the hell out of it. Good old classic Kallax units, tipped on their side, and actually it works really well. So yeah, give me 2 minutes and we'll begin the tour. So here is the game room. We'll start at this end and make our way down to the business end in a moment. I want to start with this, which has nothing to do with gaming whatsoever, other than the fact it kind of looks a little bit like SNES graphics. But I found this up the tip. It's a cross stitch. See the little lines there? that someone has obviously put a lot of effort into, and someone just took it up the tip and left it there. They had the foresight to sell it. I think it cost me like £5, so really glad I saved that. Then, straight on to the elephant in the room. And I say that just because of its size. This thing is an absolute bloody nightmare. It's excellent in every way. So it's a Logitech G29 racing wheel, complete with the accelerator, brake and clutch, and of course your gear stick, on this really brilliantly designed sort of ironing board styley mount, which again, absolutely fantastic. However, it takes up so much space, and I can never really decide what to do with it when I'm not using it, but I use it certainly 1 in 3 or 4 times that I game. I really love the thing, but it's such a pain in the arse to pack it all up and set it all up again. So yeah, working on trying to find a space for that. Then we have the Windows XP Dell something or other laptop, complete with old school MP3 player. Now I only play Windows 98 games. I've got a few Windows XP games, but generally I play the older stuff on here. As you can see, we have Total Annihilation on show. Then we've got Need for Speed Porsche 2000, Porsche Unleashed if you're in America, or I think anywhere else in the world other than England. A bit of Roller Coaster Tycoon down there. So yeah, that's my only PC actually. And then we've got this Roland FP50 keyboard, which my dad very kindly bought me many years ago, and I can safely say it gets used every single day. I absolutely love the thing. I do write some music, and I also just enjoy playing songs and things. And then we can do a little bit of a segue here, because on here it says Supernatural Piano, and then if we do this, we go to a wall of supernaturalness. So my girlfriend is absolutely obsessed with Supernatural, and she of course forced me to watch it, and now I'm absolutely obsessed with Supernatural. So I bought her this for Christmas, which is a signed Jensen and Jared photograph thingy. I would guess from about series 4, looking at that. And then I bought her this replica number plate from the original car, and this mirror I found on a bench many years ago, and cleaned it all up, and it was just a really nice thing to have, so I kept hold of it. But of course, if you know Supernatural at all, Samuel Colt fits in very nicely with these items. So yeah, moving up towards gaming stuff now. So we have a Game Boy Advance, which is on long-term loan from a friend of mine. And then my very first ever game. I can't really call it a games console because it's just one game called Dinosaurs, funnily enough. It still works. I've probably had it for certainly 25 years, maybe even a bit longer than that. But it still works, and I play it every now and again, very occasionally. Moving on, this is a tree. Over here we have my projector. That beams onto this wall here. Now, a little bit of a handy hint for you. That wall, as much as it doesn't look it in this video, is actually magnolia, and I'd highly recommend that over white. People think that you want to paint the wall white and have it as clean and crisp as possible, but actually, especially if you're gaming on your projector, you get a lot of glare on white surfaces, so I would recommend definitely going magnolia, or maybe even darker than that. Here we have another tree. This fella's not doing so well actually. I've tried watering him a bit less, I've tried watering him a bit more, and he's still got some brown and dying leaves there. So if anyone's got any ideas, I'd be very grateful. Into the projector we have a very old but still perfectly functionable Blu-ray player. And then down here we have a NES Mini Classic. Now, the NES and SNES and things like that were all a little bit before me, but I just wanted to, you know, have a little bit of classic in the game room, so I decided to go with that. Really glad I bought that. So moving over here, we have the old school stuff. When I say old school, it's old school to me. So I'm 32. I grew up with the PlayStation 1. I started playing it round other people's houses. Then eventually, when I was, I think, 10 or 11, my mum saved up her pennies somehow and bought me a PS1, which I was very grateful for. Unfortunately, that died a few years back, but this is one that was given to me by a friend, which I've probably had for certainly 15 years now, maybe even longer than that. Then we have an N64. This was bought for me by my girlfriend for one birthday, and then you'll note there I have a modern controller. Who's it made by? I can't remember. Hang on. Made by Retrobyte, which I would highly recommend. It's so much better than the original controller. Spoilers. Then we have the GameCube. Oh, sorry about the light down here, it's not brilliant. Eventually I want to get some little downlighters in this little unit here. So we have a GameCube, which is on long-term loan from the same person as the Game Boy Advance, so thank you for that, Dan. We have an original Xbox, which you probably can't see very well, but if I get out of the way, it just fits in the unit. I bought this solely to play Morrowind on, which I believe is just here. So far I have not got round to doing that, but that is actually going to be the next game I'm going to play. I've picked up some other titles for it as well, and I do want to get into it, so yeah, working on that one. Then we've got the PS2. I've had this from new. Of all the consoles, apart from my dinosaur one back up there, this is the one that I've had the longest personally. I've probably had this, it's got to be 17 years, I should think. And Jack Bauer. Events occur in real time. Playing that at the moment. Surprisingly good, actually, for a TV game. They're usually rubbish, but that one's pretty good. Right, then we've got PS3. This one's a little bit bittersweet, so I picked this up for £50 from a game store in Cambridge. They didn't think they had any left. He went out back and had a look, and he found one for me. And it's in absolutely immaculate condition. However, the only reason I had to do that was because my old fat PS3 that I'd had from new died. I worked out I threw over 10,000 hours at it if you include watching DVDs and Blu-rays and things. So yeah, I can't really complain. I certainly got my money's worth out of it. But yeah, I think if you held a gun to my head, it'd be a toss-up between the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 3 as to which games console I would have if you said I could only have one for the rest of my life. Really love this thing. And also, worth note, I picked up this sort of aftermarket controller because my PS3 controller sort of died on me. I think it was £11 or £12 plus postage. It's got a little dongle here, and it's brilliant. There is no lag at all, certainly not that I can tell. It really is brilliant for the money, so I'd highly recommend that. Then we have Nintendo Corner. So we've got a Nintendo Wii, which at the moment, unfortunately, isn't actually sort of plumbed into anything. I've kind of run out of ports. However, at the moment, I've got sort of a splitter, an AV splitter, going into a HDMI splitter, which is causing some lag on some of the consoles. So really need to come sort of work out a better way of doing that. But I'll get there. And then, as I said, spoilers earlier, we've got the Switch, which kind of had a similar situation to the current sort of PS5 and Xbox Series X when it came out. Really difficult to get hold of one, and coming back from holiday one day, and I just said to my girlfriend, look, let's pop into Tesco, I just want to see if they've got one. And they actually had one left, and they didn't know they had it there, and he went out and looked out the back for me, and there it was. So Really pleased that I managed to bag that. And then we've got an Xbox One X. Speaks for itself, really. Fantastic console, absolutely brilliant. Nothing really to say about that, it's just excellent. Then, the kind of pearl of the collection at the moment is the Death Stranding PS4. Now, I'm really glad I bought this because Death Stranding didn't actually do very well. And I think they sold a few of these consoles, but not that many. And they are going up in value now, so I'm glad I got hold of this. Not that I'm planning on selling it, but it's just a nice looking thing to have in the game room. So you've got the handprints on the top there, and then the yellow controller that came with it. Down here we have Wally and Eva. Up here we have a boxed Guitar Hero World Tour for the Xbox 360. Now at the moment, unfortunately, I don't actually have anything I don't have a 360 to play that on. I am going to pick one up. I've got some other financial things going on at the minute, so it's going to have to wait a month or two, but I'm planning on picking one up very soon. And it has the Guitar Hero game and the guitar in there. That was donated to the games room by a friend and colleague, Richard, so thank you very much for that. I Fish You Were Here, a box, a Porg, an Ewok, and then this is on long-term loan from a friend called John. This is actually a pretty rare controller, so it's a PlayStation 1 controller by, as you can see, Namco, people who made, I think they made Ridge Racer and things like that, if I remember correctly. And basically, it's fairly normal, apart from the fact that to steer, you twist it. I can't get my head around it. It's bloody awful, actually. I really don't understand why they made it, but it's a great addition to the games room because it's quite rare. I know he does want it back, so as soon as lockdown and everything's over and I can go and see him, John, you're going to get it back. Moving on to here. So this is a Series KD Sony television, 43 inch. Really pleased with it. It's got a bit of a software issue where it keeps sort of switching itself off, which is very frustrating. It doesn't do it all the time. I'd say it probably does it once every couple of weeks or something like that, but it's usually while you're in the middle of a big fight scene on a game. So I'm wondering if there might be an issue with the sort of frame rate or something like that. I don't know, but it's very frustrating, so I do need to talk to Sony about that. Then we have another bit of a pride of the collection, really. So this is a Yamaha 5.1 amplifier, surround sound, which is a digital amplifier, but I don't have any video running through it these days because it can't really keep up with sort of the modern stuff. But sound wise, I must have had 4 or 5 amplifiers since I bought this one 15 years ago, 14 years ago, whatever it was, and none of them sound as good as this. So yeah, I've kept hold of that. And over here we have a space. Now you can probably work it out for yourselves, but basically PS5, Xbox Series X. So yeah, as soon as I can get hold of them, I will, and they will be living just here. And yeah, I think, you know, we've got some spaces for some games in the Kallax units. Some Blu-rays down here. Stargate Atlantis, going to be forcing the girlfriend to watch that very soon. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tour. I'm always adding new things to the game room, always after new things to the game room, so if anyone's got any ideas, then just give me a shout and I'll probably go and buy it. Thank you very much.